One mistake is all that it takes to break up the trust that we made. I'm open to changing my ways this time. Oh, why do I fall for it every time? I'd do anything to keep you mine. So just call my name. Tell me you're never leaving, won't you stay? And I'll play your games as long as the fire doesn't fade away. Yeah, just call my name. Yeah, just call my name. Yeah, just call my name. Can't forgiveness meant what we've torn. A chance to rebuild what was worn. With honesty guiding my stride this time. Now just call my name. Tell me you're never leaving, won't you stay? And I'll play your games as long as the fire doesn't fade away. Yeah, just call my name. 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 Yeah, just call my name.
I just can't see all the angles. Chip, tap, digital wallet.
We can help with that.
I love trucking. The open road, the biscuits, and the gravy. Can you help me bank when I'm away?
Roger that. We got you, good buddy.
I won my first tournament. So now what?
You can deposit that check with the First Source mobile app.
I need more space for these dogs. Trevor, I know. I'm asking.
We can find a small business loan that works for you and you, Trevor. For every banking need, there's only First Source Bank.
FirstSource.com. Member FDIC.
Get Thanksgiving ready at Whole Foods Market with so many ways to save. Their 65 brand has great prices and the high quality you expect. No antibiotics ever turkeys start at $1.49 a pound with Prime. Round out your spread with mashed potatoes and condensed soups, plus fresh organic produce like green beans, white mushrooms, and carrots for casseroles and sides. Shop low prices and quality at Whole Foods Market, in-store or online. Terms apply.
This is a Bose moment. Work holiday parties can be a drag. Until someone hits play on a Bose speaker. Rich sound takes you from cubicles to club vibes as Bose decks the halls with bass. And suddenly, hey, even your boss is in the holiday spirit. Holidays deserve music. Music deserves Bose. Find the perfect gifts and holiday deals at bose.com/Spotify.
it on me. You're just too scared to be lonely. No one's safe from the reaper, not a saint nor a sinner. Rage under my skin, slowly descend into madness. Let it spread like a virus. Be a friend with the violence. Help, there's blood on my hands. Somebody save me from myself. I'm off of the meds and it might get hideous. Why so serious? Run for your life, cause it might get hideous. Why so serious? Change, can you say some? Never mind, I forgot where I came from. Like wolves in the darkness, we've adapted the blindness. Fall asleep with the sirens out. There's blood on my hands. Somebody save me from myself. I'm off of the meds and it might get hideous. Why so serious? Run for your life, cause it might get hideous. Why so serious? Run for your life, cause it might get hideous. Why so serious? Maybe I'm weak, but it took half a year to get over you, over you. Or maybe I'm good at pretending that I moved on. I know that we got a lot of the same friends, and soon enough there come a weekend when we just not bring it up. Yeah, maybe I'm weak, but it's taking too long to get over you. I'm not ready to need you again, unless this time we're holding on. The truth is I don't know how to forget. So when I saw you coming, I knew I'd be swept right by now, and I didn't care. And hiding from the truth would have got me nowhere. 'Cause I'm not ready to need you again, but I need you again. I'll be funny how something can hurt you so bad, but you fall right back. Happens just like that. And I'm not quite convinced that it won't end the same this time. Tell me, can people really get a fresh start? Should I be more careful with my heart? I'm treading carefully. Crazy how something can scar you so deep, but you fall right back. I'm not ready to need you again, unless this time we're holding on. The truth is I don't know how to forget. So when I saw you coming, I knew I'd be swept right by you, and I didn't care. And hiding sky, gazing far into the night. I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light shine through? Shining through.
Disney Plus, Hulu on Disney Plus, 30-second radio spot title, Holiday Radio Black Friday, ISKI code DIDVA3758R.
'Tis the season for all your holiday favorites, like A Very Jonas Christmas Movie and Home Alone on Disney Plus.
Did I burn down the joint? I don't think so.
Then Hulu has National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
We're all in for a very big Christmas treat.
All of these and more streaming this holiday season. And right now, save big with our special Black Friday offer. Bundle Disney Plus and Hulu for just $4.99 a month for 1 year. Savings compared to current regular monthly price. Ends 12/1. Offer for ad-supported Disney Plus Hulu bundle only. Then $12.99 a month.
There he is. I hit the button 3 times. I swear, guys. I hit the button 3 times. You guys can't see it, but Kesh and I can see it on the back end. Julie's mic is off. Julie has barely any voice, so please keep an eye on those eyebrows, because the eyebrows are going to be your expression lines, everything that you need for reactions. All right. Night 2 and our last night of Harvest the Words. You guys have been amazing with getting those word counts in and continuing your stories over and over again. I still remember the first time when we challenged y'all last year, 2024, and we challenged y'all to continue in the same story through every single week. And our original OG crew were like, wait a minute, I don't have to come up with something new every single week. No, you do not. Use the prompts to get through anything that you're doing. And basically, Harvest the Words was kind of anticlimactic this year because this is what we've been doing the entire time, right? since last year. So, yes, Julie's face journey yesterday, last night's, the eyebrows went up, the eyebrows went down, the eyebrows furrowed, the eyebrows went all over the place. That's Julie can have a poker face. She doesn't usually use it though. So, we're going to jump right in because a little birdie has told me that we have a highest submission of the year tonight, beating out Cash. Julie went nutto crazy. And for the record, Cash's record was over 6.5 thousand, 6.2, 6.2 thousand, and Julie's just blasted that out of the water. So we're going to get started right away. And we are going to get started with one Artemis Elf, who may also be experiencing some issues with weather and things where she's at. So she may not be here. She'll watch it on the replay. She did apologize for everything she's going to make me read tonight. Okay. So that's where we are at. We're just going to jump right in. Okay. No preemptive. You guys all know us. You know our how we roll. So here we go. Let me open up the document.
Might help.
Make sure you got your drinks. Make sure you have fans.
Hydration or dehydration.
Yes. Hydrate or dihydrate. No, I don't want to watch you because I'm running my own show. No. Go away. Okay. Here we go. Mic's off. And we are to GT Gretz, aka Artemis Elf. Another entry into an unsettling feeling of being watched. He'd never forgotten those awkward teenage years, Elray said, staring into the fire between them. He came in late to class and sat at the back. Then what? Ephraim watched the tension slide from the face of the girl across from her. Ephraim. A strange sight when she'd been puckered most of the day and scowling when she managed to unscrew her lips enough to bark orders. Nothing, she answered, her gaze locked on the dancing flames as if they held answers she couldn't find. You don't remember anything after that? Ephraim pried, hoping that the change in her demeanor was more than the slip of a mask and reveal of hidden defeat. There was no way to know how long Elray had been awake, how long she had wandered the forests alone, but it was clear she'd been on her own too long. Getting her to talk was like pulling teeth. Ephraim sighed and sat back, leaning on her arms. I remember mermaids. Mermaids? Yeah, she said, turning her attention to the dark sky overhead, devoid of stars and churning with the same heavy clouds that kept the day from becoming any warmer than tepid. They were jumping through the water, waving at the ships and calling for people to follow them to the shoreline, but it wasn't a shore. I think they were sirens. I've never been to the ocean, Elray confessed. Her hand twisted the watch on her wrist, lighting it up in a brilliant green. She pursed her lips as the numbers glowed, ticking down the way they had since she had woken in the field of an impossible distance away. It was the same watch Ephraim had when she found her in the grotto, soaked to the bone and coughing up water. Where did you come from? If you came from the oceans, maybe that's why I told you. Ephraim threw herself forward over her knees, a snarl in her voice. I don't remember anything about how I got here. I just know that I have to get out of here before this thing gets to zero. She held up her wrist. The time, synced with Elray's, continued its steady ticking. You think you've got everything figured out, but you don't, she said, crossing her arms. Trust me on that. I think I have a pretty good idea, to be honest. Ephraim shoved up from the fire and looked around. The forest, though one she'd never traversed before, was eerily familiar. The distant songs of birds unseen echoed in what should have been her memory. A voice came muffled, some sort of instructions. Ephraim turned, searching the dark, her lips moving to mimic the words she didn't know. We have to get out of here before we run out of time, or they'll kill us. Elray poked at the fire with a stick, stoking the embers to mingle like glitter among the flames. Maybe. No, not maybe. I remember him. She took a few steps away, fading into the shadows of the night. I remember talking to him. Lake was here. Lake? That. She paused, holding her head. That was his name. Lake. Elray carefully set her stick aside, watching Ephraim pace back and forth, hands wringing through her hair and nodding to the roots. She remembered him, no doubt about it, but she shouldn't have been able to remember anything. Lake was dead. That was before she knew better, when she'd believed loyalty would get her somewhere. She covered her watch, dimming the light. If there are others out there, then that means we can find them. We could get out together. Ephraim snapped around, eyes wide as she returned to the fire and crouched beside Elray. She scooped up her hands into her own, squeezed, and lowered her voice to nearly a whisper. We don't have to do this alone. Elray's lips pulled in, her face shifting from emptiness to pitched brows and rounded eyes as if the demons of the past had surged up at once. If we find the others, that's more responsibility. It's dangerous. If anything happens to even one person, if we lose anyone, we won't, Ephraim said. You don't understand. Elray yanked her hands back, trembling. When I found you, my number was lower. When I found... She hesitated. It had been a long time since she'd said his name. When I found Degda, or he found me, she said slowly, every word measured and careful, he had minutes left. Then we found the others. Together, we believed we had all the time in the world. Then Simon changed everything. Simon? Meg Simon. She breathed out the name like a curse. She said we had to do it. We couldn't take risks. Degda told her the cost was too high. We didn't understand the clocks, and if we went through with it, the penalty could be even higher. What did you do? It wasn't me. Not at first. Degda was the one to cut the cord. He said he had to because he already had blood on his hands. When he woke, he was with this kid who had fallen, broken a bunch of bones, and he left him. He realized the kids didn't make it when his time was cut in half. He realized the kid didn't make it when his time was cut in half and turned red. So, Degda cut some cord? Peter's cord, Elray clarified. Peter was his best friend, and Simon said it was his own fault for ending up in the trap. It was meant to catch wild boars, rabbits, or whatever came by. We caught a deer once with it, but Peter got stuck setting it up. He slipped and was trapped there. We didn't know how or if we could save him, but we knew if we cut the cord, he'd die. Why didn't you pull him up? The cord couldn't take the strain. So Degda let him go, Ephraim concluded, her eyes falling to the ground. He let him die the way he did the kid before, right? He did, she whispered, hand falling to her wrist, and everyone's number dropped. But Degda's was the lowest of all. Simon was furious when she found out that Degda knew we'd all lose time. He gambled with our lives, so she forced him out and anyone who trusted him. I was the last to choose to follow him, Elray huffed. Do you think it's possible to love someone and still be afraid of them? Ephraim's attention snapped up, the tone ringing like a bell in her ears. Her heart skipped as his voice returned to her mind clear as the day. You had to choose between loyalty and the right thing. Follow Simon or follow Dagda. She searched her companion's face, already knowing the truth. What happened to her? What happened to Simon? Silence crackled between them. She grabbed her hands, yanking her forward. What happened to Simon? She's dead! Elray shouted, pulling away with a jerk. Did Dagda? No. Who? I did. Elray twisted her wrist. I had the most time. I paid the price. Simon was wrong. We couldn't keep collecting people without a plan. Collecting time wasn't going to help us find a way out without a plan. He had one. Where is he now? Her eyes turned to Ephraim's watch, green numbers shining between them. You haven't been here long. That's why you have so much time. We all do when we get here. Dagda wanted to find the new arrivals and follow where they came from, sort of reverse engineer it, and figure out the places they came in to find the way out. Where is he, Elray? You don't remember? Remember? She sat back, offended. Everything before the grotto is a blur. You know that. But you remember Lake. I remember a little bit. His voice, the forest. We were running. He told me something and then nothing. She rubbed the back of her neck. Flashes of rising waters and the sting of battery against rocks returned. But what does he have to do with Dagda? Lake saved you, she said. He threw you in the river so that Simon couldn't have your time. None of us knew that when the group split, our time was cut in half, one person after the other. When we left, we had 1/5 of the time we had with them. And when your time is low enough, it turns red. Lake's was red when we left. Then he used the rest to cast you out. Then why did you come and find me if I'm the reason Lake is dead? Because I saw your number triple. I don't understand the rules. I don't understand why we're here or who exactly is controlling this. But I know for a fact that Dagda remembered something. That's why he threw you in the river and told me to find you. Ephraim scooted back, her breath catching in her chest. Dagda Lake saved her, sacrificed himself, and sent Elray to drag her from the grotto. But for what? What good was she if she couldn't even remember her rescuer's face? Why? I didn't ask for this. None of us did. But Dagda was sure you knew something. What could I possibly know? When you woke up, you said the sirens were singing. Elray dared to move closer, her eyes checking the dark for some unknown threat, an eavesdropper. In all the time I've been here, I only heard sirens once, right before you arrived. And Dagda said he'd heard them when he first woke up, that he remembered them from somewhere else. You heard them the way he did. You recognized them. I think you might be able to find the way out. We don't even know where we are. No one knows anything about the wilds, Ephraim, she said coldly. But not everyone remembers sirens. Her lips pulled in, considering this. I think we need to find the ocean. There were ships. Dun dun dun. Dun dun dun. I
I'm not sure. Oh, wow. Just wow. Yeah, there's definitely some shenanigans going on.
Like, I can't help but think Maze Runner, Hunger Games,
Yeah.
fucking Out of Time, Just in Time, or whatever the fuck that one was that had Justin fucking Timberlake in it and Amanda Seyfried. Like, just all of this horrific. And what are the rules? What are the rules? Like, the characters don't even know what the fucking rules are. They're trying to figure out the rules and when do you get more time? When do you get less time? When do you Oh my fucking god. Just Yes, the ads. They will end in a minute. Holy uh, uh, um, I the
Is she even
flabber
in,
has been
is
gas.
she is she even here?
No, not currently, not that I can see. Um, I I don't know what to think. I really don't. It was a little bit hard to go back and to figure out who was speaking what, um, and their tone, like which was which. Um, that's what happens when you have names that are very, very similar. But I still want to like I want to know more. I mm, uh, mm, and I'm trying real hard not to yell what the
Somebody not
G
here?
stands for. No, what the G stands for, like close to government naming kind of thing.
Oh, yeah.
GT Grets. I'm trying really hard. I gotta
Yeah.
watch what the frick I say. Um,
Just send her a private
I
message, government name her there.
exactly.
Get it out of your system.
What? I listen here, Elf. I I need more. I I need more. Which feels very weird to say because Kesh and I have a friend who goes by Elf in Pennsylvania, and so it's very that's very weird to say. Um, but this is true, Leon. This is true. Just picture this: you actually know more about it without having heard it than if you did hear it, because we're still not fucking sure what the fuck just happened. Uh, wow.
I just wish she was here to like speak for herself here.
Dude, right?
Like, what the fuck?
I do know that I'm probably going to jump into the Authors Pub Discord tomorrow if I see her on, and I'm going to be like, woman, what the fuck?
Let me know how that goes.
Oh
Because
my Jesus.
I want to know what she says.
Oh, my Jesus. Okay. Let's move right along because we have got lots of words yet tonight. Jesus H fucking Christ. As you see across the bottom of your screen, we are back with another submission from Anonymous 5. Again, this is an author who has submitted to the Promptcast before, but chose to get some unbiased feedback from all y'all. Oh, absolutely, Leon. What's good with Artemis though is you can just drown into the writing style. It's just sugar to the ears. That is absolutely true. I have gotten lost in Artemis Elf's prose before, and I've had to reread it. And the second or third time, I'm like, "Holy fucking shit!" You know. So, but back to Anon 5. Again, wanting honest feedback. Is this something that they should continue writing, or is it something that would be better suited in another author's hands? Because it, there are people out there that come up with ideas and pass them off to somebody else. But we're going to see what they have for us tonight. And it does look like it's an immediate pickup from where we last left off, where Jasmine had in her hands, right in front of her face, one of Sabine's erotic sub lifestyle novels, Dog Eared and Worn. She gasped. Oh my God, Jasmine, that's not, you can't just. The book didn't move. This is actually well written, Jasmine mused. The editor was good. Clean grammar, sharp punctuation. Sabine sputtered. You think you've got everything figured out, Jasmine murmured. But you don't. Trust me on that. What? Sabine's voice pitched high and her eyebrows higher. Jasmine lowered the book and looked up at her. This line, it's good. She tapped the page. Sabine went sheet white. Her mouth opened once, twice, producing no sound. Jasmine's gaze locked with hers, steady and unbothered. You all right? I. Sabine's chest tightened. The room tilted. Jasmine dropped the book onto the coffee table and rose smoothly, stepping into her space. Her hands closed around Sabine's forearms, warm, steady anchors. Sabine, she coaxed, low and even. Take a deep breath for me. Sabine tried. She really did. But her breath stuttered, catching on a sharp gasp she couldn't push past. Jasmine effortlessly led her as if on a dance floor, lowering her to the couch. Sit down before you fall down. Sabine hit the cushion more than sat, her hands flying to her face. Her breaths came quick, shallow, ragged. Hey, Jasmine murmured, lowering herself to sit on the table facing her, the book pushed aside. Look at me. She looked up, lower lip trembling before her gaze skittered away to anything else. The book, the closed door, the teacups, but eventually landed back on Jasmine's face. That's it. Look here. She held up her hand. How many rings am I wearing? Sabine blinked, confused. Her brain tripped over the question. One? Good. What color is it? Taking a slower breath, she replied, Silver. Perfect. Jasmine's voice remained soft, even. You're home. Safe. Sabine shook her head. No. Jasmine's brow furrowed slightly. No? She reached out, taking Sabine's hand in both of hers. No what? Her head dipped, her voice barely a whisper. Not safe. Jasmine's fingers curled gently around Sabine's, a tiny squeeze. Okay. How is it not safe? Tell me. Jonah, Sabine gulped. Your brother, she said softly. It wasn't a question. Sabine looked up again, searching Jasmine's face for something. Answers, context, anything. Before she could form a reply, Jasmine took a small, quick breath as though preparing to confess something. It's my job to know everything about everyone, Sabine. She glanced down at the hand in hers, the pad of her thumb running small circles across the back. I conduct all background checks. Sabine startled and pulled her hand away. Jasmine let her go. You investigated him? She leaned back. It's my job. Jasmine shifted away, her shoulders dropping. She slid further down the table and reached for a cup of tea, handing it carefully to Sabine on its saucer. Sabine wrapped a hand around the warm porcelain, trying to steady the tremor in her fingers with a firm grip on the saucer with the other. Jasmine didn't move toward her again. She stayed put, posture neat, composed, but something in the set of her shoulders wasn't quite right. Too still, too careful. Jasmine retrieved the other cup and saucer and stood, moving to a recliner even further away. Sabine's breath hitched. You know something. Jasmine didn't deny it, just blew a bit on the liquid before taking a tentative sip, her gaze fixed on the cup Sabine held, then lifted slowly to meet her eyes. The calm was still there, the smooth expression, the steady breathing. But beneath it, Sabine saw the faintest flicker of tension, a calculation, as if Jasmine were silently weighing how much to say and how much to hold back. It's complicated, she said finally, each word measured, deliberate. I don't want to overwhelm you. You've been through too much. Sabine swallowed hard, throat working. You already did. Jasmine's jaw twitched. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. She slid lower and took another sip. Sabine swallowed, lifting the cup for a swallow she couldn't quite take, a lump still lodged in her throat. It's fine. I don't need to know. Jasmine's gaze sharpened, but not in an unkind way. But you do. The trembling turned to a spasm and the tea splashed. Scalding liquid poured across Sabine's lap. Jasmine jumped to her feet, returning her cup to the table. She reached for Sabine's arms and pulled her to her feet. Then the unexpected. Jasmine pulled Sabine's sweatpants from her waist, down to her ankles, her fingers reaching to gingerly inspect the wet, reddening thigh. Jasmine! She squeaked. What are you doing? The woman stopped cold, her fingertips lingering on Sabine's skin. I'm sorry. She shifted left, then right, her gaze searching, her eyes locked onto something behind Sabine. In a flash, she grabbed a throw blanket, unfolding it efficiently to wrap around Sabine's waist. Sabine met her eyes, suddenly aware of how close they stood, of the lingering feel of Jasmine's touch, feather-light and tender. Her lips parted, but no sound emerged. I'm sorry, Jasmine repeated, her voice low. Sabine swallowed. You didn't have to. I know, but I did anyway. She sounded hoarse, the words barely a whisper. Jasmine was too close, in her air. Family stood this close. She'd heard friends had no physical boundaries, but Jasmine was neither. Sabine didn't move, couldn't. The blanket felt heavy. Jasmine's nearness felt heavier. Jasmine inhaled sharply and shallow, her chest moving more than it should. Her gaze dropped a fraction. Tell me if you're hurt, she murmured. Please. I'm fine, Sabine wobbled, her knees too straight. Jasmine gripped her forearms before either knew what happened. You're not. Just lost my balance, Sabine whispered. Her arms shifted in Jasmine's hands, the blanket slipping. Something clicked, fabric against her shin, a poignant reminder. Her sweats were still pooled around her feet. Jasmine looked around their arms at the floor. Oh, sorry. She stepped back, letting go of Sabine, fingertips trailing across her wrist, almost regretfully. Sabine licked her dry lips and whispered, Now who's saying sorry too much? Jasmine turned away, a blush spreading up her neck as she rubbed it with strong fingers. Yeah, so. Sabine sat down, the world around her coming into sharp focus. She was home, in her living room. A glamazon was in her living room, caring for her. What in the actual fuck is happening here? She looked up to see Jasmine pacing and still rubbing the back of her neck. What is it, Jasmine? Her voice was soft and quiet, more meek than she wanted. She turned toward Sabine, her hand resting on her neck. Her eyes wavered. Jasmine faced her, putting both hands on her hips. It's Jonah. What about Jonah? He's a problem, Sabine. A big problem. Dun, dun, dun.
Excuse me? What just happened?
Looks like Jasmine came real close to. I mean, sweatsuit
Yeah.
right around the ankles.
I mean, yeah. Whoa. What?
What, Julie?
It was good, but what the actual fuck exactly? I will say it for Julie. What the actual fuck?
I don't know. Thoughts? Okay, besides what the actual fuck, Julie?
I mean, considering she has no voice, that's a lot.
I know that's a lot.
Wow, I want to know more.
Where the hell is the rest of it?
Yeah. um. Yeah.
So I take it that you all believe that this author is the correct author for this story, whatever the hell it is.
Yeah. Whatever they're doing it right.
Anyone want to take a guess?
It's you. I'm pretty sure it's you. Because I know you're right.
Okay. Kesh believes it's me. I know Leon said last night that they believe that Anon 5 is me or Dahlia. What, brother dear?
I cannot say. I plead the fifth. I signed an NDA.
Is that you confessing?
I signed an NDA.
You can.
I'm saying I cannot disclose the information that I know.
As you may see across the bottom of your screen, Jasmine and Sabine are mine. So thank you all. I have not felt comfortable writing any kind of steamy potential romance ever. Not since what I did to Kesha's story in 1999, but
which she went down that rabbit hole last night. That was fun.
I did go down that rabbit hole last night. And this story was not supposed to go this route, but then Jasmine showed herself, and I was like, "Oh shit!" So
I
thank
know
you,
your writing
you
too well,
all.
dear.
I know you know my writing too well,
especially when you get steamy.
Hey, at least it's
and in
at least it's not a
Chelsea,
lot of member and sword and whatnot.
and meat curtains.
Right. Thank you,
And
Bitzer. Considering I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, so thank you, you guys. That really, between last week's commentary and this week's, I don't know. We'll see where this one goes. But
and Bitzer thought it was me. Come on now. My
I mean,
spice.
your spice has been getting very subtle without any, that's we write this kind of stuff and we get right to the brink because we know it's going to be read out on here. And so to try and make it spicy without tipping over the balance, that's a challenge. And so, I mean,
Hey, Izzy, your camera is getting like pixelated.
oh, I'm
Did
sure.
your setting, or is
No.
it just
On the personal computer, it is fine. It is clear. However, I do have network issues, as I normally do, because that one is on Wi-Fi. But the OBS computer is also having issues, even though it's hardlined. So we are going to have a bit of a lag, a little bit of delay every time we get this much snow. It's problems. So hopefully the replay is not bad completely. So there we go. Let's get everybody. There we go. Okay. So now that yeah, Leon, you're correct. You know, sometimes it's the themes or the styles, and me having this idea is kind of what is prompting January's. We'll obviously get more details when we go to announce January's. But we're going to start off the year by going anonymous. Challenge yourself, doing new styles, doing something new, doing something different in January. Okay. I'm kind of.
I'm looking forward
I
to
need just
January.
It's very weird to be in the Hold My Pen Promptcast inbox, and before I can click on an email, it's grayed out because somebody else opens it at the same time. Julie. Okay, for those of you who are not familiar with our lovely cotton candy cult princess, aka French toast smoothies made out of humans, Dahlia McEachern, you're in for a treat. Just wait for the other shoe to drop. Even her innocent stuff has got us scared. She has fully traumatized us. Fully. You have no idea. You have no idea. Very first thing she submitted last year. The boys came home and I immediately had to sit them down and go, I need to read this out to you. And I need to know that I am not losing my ever-loving mind. And I got, what the fuck? From both of them. So, here we go. Waking up, I stare up to stars shining across the sky, the Milky Way flowing through the sky. Reaching my arm out, imagining my hand moving the objects that fill the Milky Way, controlling the placement as I create new images. The creatures that lurk in the dark now, shining in the sky as a warning to anyone looking up. The names might change, but that doesn't matter. If I could only use the stars as a warning, many could save themselves. The ugly beasts would be shown to the world, and one day they would be eradicated from our planet. Looking around, I see Levi on guard, his guns at the ready. Deciding it is my turn, I sit up, getting out of my sleeping bag and placing my fur jacket on. The fur brushes softly against my skin. Grabbing my guns, I walked over to Levi. I listened for any sounds and searched the woods for shadows as I made my way towards him. Hey, go get some sleep. I'll guard, I said, standing above him. It's fine. I'll sleep during the day, Levi replied. Sitting down beside him, I watched the opposite area he was watching. Just as I sat down, I asked, You mind if I sit here? Looks like it wasn't up to me, he said bluntly. You need some company. Nope, I was pretty fine sitting here alone. You say that, but I know you want company. You just fight it, I said softly. You think you've got everything figured out, but you don't, Levi said as he shot down a shadow creature from a tree. Trust me on that. The small spear flew back to him. Flying onto his metal glove, Levi placed his spear into another clip on his belt. Ooh, that's some pretty nice tech. The small, mutated starfish-shaped creature faded away as it fell towards the ground, disappearing before it hit. Just then, I shot a shadow imp from a bush. It crawled out towards me, only making a few meters from the bushes before it faded. My own mini spears flew back to my metal glove. You say that, but let's be real. Life is depressing as fuck. Without those rose-colored glasses helping us dilute ourselves into happiness, we see through the illusion into the unfiltered world, seeing what is happening when our societies dulls humanity's senses and they're left dead from the parasites that feed off our enslavement, I said sourly. Sensing him glancing at me, I look up to the stars, feeling my fake smile spread across my face. Just then, a plane fell from the sky, landing somewhere in the forest to the left of me. We watched and listened, and for a while it was silent until the screams began. How many do you think will live through the night? I asked. Not many, if any, Levi replied. As we wait out the night, killing a handful of shadow creatures each, the screams slowly faded, and before we knew it, we both watched the sunrise as the pink filled the sky. Levi started a fire and boiled a pot of water on our makeshift fire bridge. Once hot enough, I handed him 2 gray packets. A single yellow block from each pack dropped into the water. The block dissolved, and small chicken, peas, and carrot pieces filled the pot. Yummy! What a feast! I could just eat this up for days, I said, waving the aroma towards me. Rolling my eyes, then I searched through my bag for 2 bowls. Finding the ladle, bowls, and spoons, I pulled them out and filled the first bowl, handing it to Levi. We ate up 2 bowls each before the pot was empty. Rinsing the pot in boiling new water, I placed bowls and silverware inside the pot. Smothering the fire below, I left the stuff inside the pot and walked to the edge of the forest. I'm going to check out the plane crash. I'll be back later, I said. Levi looked at me before heading in the opposite direction. Both guns on his side holsters, he ran in search of something. Making it to the plane crash, there were bodies scattered all over, some hanging in the trees, on the ground, and all over the plane. What a bloodbath. They didn't have a chance in hell of surviving this attack. What would draw so many creatures to this area in the first place? Seems abnormal, I thought as I investigated the area. Heading into the plane, there were more corpses. Is there anyone alive in here? I yelled. Glancing inside the bathrooms, there was a woman crushed between the broken door in one bathroom and a man covered in blood with his left leg missing. Making it to the back, I noticed the bathrooms are both locked. Anyone in the bathrooms? It's daytime. They can't get to you, I said, knocking on the doors. Hearing them breathe, I take a deep breath of annoyance, recomposing myself and stretching a big smile on my face. You can't stay in there indefinitely. They will come back here with creatures that will be able to break those doors down, I said warmly. The bathroom on the left side opened, and out came 3 young children of various ages. Standing there trembling, I kneeled down and reached a hand out slowly, my palm faced upwards and flat. It's okay. I will do everything I can to protect you guys. The youngest placed her hand over mine, and I squeezed it gently. Just then, the door to the other bathroom opened. A woman and 2 men came out. Walking out of the plane, there was a banging coming from the cargo door. Walking over, I analyzed how to unlock it. Do you know how to open it? The man with a short buzz cut asked. No, I replied. I can direct you on opening it, the man from the other side of the door yelled. After fiddling around with the controls, the door opened and a couple of people came out of the cargo. Hey, thank you for your help, a man dressed in an airplane work uniform said, giving a slight bow. Thank goodness this part of the plane didn't take any damage, I muttered. You don't seem like someone from the plane crash, he hesitantly questioned. Oh, and why do you think that? I asked. Well, the way you are dressed. Also, the guns hanging on your sides. You're a gunslinger, aren't you? He answered. No. Then how come you... They died. Then I took their stuff, I interrupted. What do we do now? A man said, staring at the wreckage. Follow me, I stated. One by one, they followed as they mumbled towards each other. Making it back to the base camp, Levi was working on the underground base. It looked much bigger than yesterday. Looking good, I shouted, smiling and waving my hand. Were there any survivors? Levi asked. Yeah, quite a few actually. We might need a bigger hole to fit them all in there during the night, I cheered. An annoyed look flashed over his face, only for a moment before going back to his normal, gloomy expression. I am going to make you smile one of these days, Levi, I thought, walking away. Standing before the group of people, I looked at each of them. Okay, boys, there are some shovels in that hole and buckets to get the dirt out. I need you guys to help get that hole big enough to hold everyone inside it once the night comes. The faster we work, the faster we get done. You guys got this, I encouraged, smiling. We should have stayed on the plane. It's way safer than this, the man with the short buzz cut snarked. You can decide to stay there if you want. I won't stop you. I'll just let you know that those dead bodies around there and lots of blood will cause bigger creatures to come to eat the leftovers and rip into the plane in search of anyone still alive, I said dulcetly. I'll take my chances, he mumbled. What an idiot. Must have a death wish. Whatever it is not my problem. Parasites like him will only cause more problems in the long run anyways. It just means I won't have to deal with it later, I thought, relieved. The man then walked back to the plane area. Everyone else stared at him until he disappeared out of sight. Anyways, shall we begin? I said, turning back to the hole. Hours passed as we dug for most of the day, finally calling it and resting for the rest of the day once it was big enough for everyone to fit inside it. The newcomers climbed out of the ladder one by one. Waiting my turn, I felt the sensation of someone watching me. Paying little mind to it, I climbed up and behind me, Levi followed. Great job, everyone, I praised. Excuse me, what will happen now? The youngest girl asked. Kneeling down, I grabbed her hand. I'm not sure yet. We will figure something out. Don't you worry, I said softly. I looked to the sky to see roughly what time it was. We got about 3 hours before sunset, I thought. Grabbing some wood, I began to start the fire. Taking off my horseshoe and four-leaf clover, flint, and steel necklace, I got a few sparks until one finally caught. Levi came over with the pot filled with water. Placing the pot on the fire bridge, he then sat across from me. Did you find what you're looking for? I asked. Yes, Levi replied. So is it a tomorrow adventure? Scroll down. Scroll down. I need more text. I need more text. Why is it a blank screen? Why is it a blank screen? There should be more.
Dun,
There
dun,
should
dun.
be more. Yeah. Dun dun dun. But it should not be dun dun dun. Dahlia!
It's Dahlia. Dahlia!
See, okay. Even Bitzer. Dahlia. See, y'all are catching up quick with. Oh, damn.
Bitzer means business.
Oh, damn. Oh, damn. Don't give me those devil horns, Dahlia. For those not familiar, worldwide 99,000 is Dahlia herself.
And we love Dahlia and her just leaving us hanging for a year.
For a fucking year. I'm still waiting for my Christmas polar bear and evil elves nutcracker bad Santa. It's been a year, Dahlia.
I mean, we're coming up on Christmas. Maybe we'll get a Christmas surprise.
Just saying. For the record, Dahlia does have 2 publications. You can find her on the Evil Zon. And one of them is actually listed still, I believe, right, in our newsletter. One of them is still in there. So you can find Trapped in Addiction and... Shit, I forgot the other one. I don't own them yet, so I can't even Vanna White them. My bad! Yes, so... Dark, twisted aliens poking out of stomach flesh, hands lopped off after coming out of a enchanted wardrobe, cotton candy cult people that eat other cotton candy cult people. Yeah, we got some crazy stuff happening. Holy shit balls, Dahlia. Yet again. And the progression, right? We've talked a lot lately about how we have seen authors grow this past year. And this progression was one of Dahlia's best logical, this happened, then this happened, without saying this, then this, then this. Very well done. And we also understand we do not pressure Dahlia, because if we pressure Dahlia, we get really scary shit. Dahlia has school, a couple of jobs. We do not pressure because we also don't want to scare the shit out of us. Just saying. Oh, I have to do the thing. Okay, now, the author previously known as Anonymous 4. You will see that they are in our chat tonight. The new pen name, Nathan Stark, previous Anonymous 4 that has first time out managed to break Izzy and took all y'all's breath away. So welcome to the Hold My Pen Promptcast, Nathan Stark. The Mermaid in the Flooded City. He'd never forgotten those awkward teenage years. But that was the odd thing. They were the only years he hadn't forgotten. Noah gasped awake with water filling his mouth, his throat, his lungs. His hands fought blindly against the dark, icy waves until he found something, a slab of metal jutting from the water like a coffin lid. He clung to it, coughing hard, vision blurry, breath shaking. Half of a skyscraper rose beside him, drowned to the 37th floor. Neon coral glowed from broken windows. Algae slithered down steel beams. The air smelled like salt, rust, and the death of a world. No memories. No idea where he was. No idea who he'd been yesterday. Just the teenage years. High school lockers, science fair, someone yelling at him to stop, a machine he hadn't wanted to build but built anyway, and then nothing. He blinked hard, coughing again. Somewhere beneath him, something swam. Fast. A shadow cut through the water, circling like a shark. He tried to scramble onto the metal slab, but a hand, cold, slim, and startlingly strong, grabbed his wrist and pulled him under. He thrashed as the world became blue, then black, then vibrating with the roar of rushing bubbles. He struggled, kicking, punching, until the hand released him. He shot upward, broke through the surface, and sucked in air. Sorry, fear of drowning. Fear of drowning. I'm okay. It's okay. It's okay. Relax, a voice said behind him. You splashed like a toddler. Noel whipped around and froze. A girl leaned on the same debris he clung to, hair flowing in the water like living ink. Her eyes were bright teal, glowing faintly. Her skin shimmered with subtle scales when the sun hit just right. Her lower half wasn't legs, not even close. A fin stretched into the depths, sleek, powerful, incandescent like oil on water. You're, Noah choked out. A mermaid? She finished with a smirk. Yeah, good morning to you too. He blinked. Maybe the lack of oxygen made him hallucinate. She rolled her eyes. Don't start with the I must be dreaming thing. You're awake. She tapped the metal debris. And you're alive because I dragged your dense skull up before you sank like a dumb brick. A wave lifted them, and Noah saw the rest of the horizon. Buildings, miles of them, drowned halfway, sometimes fully, only their roofs peeking above the tide. A city swallowed whole. I don't know where I am, Noah said, breathing hard, or how I got here. I can't remember anything past. He stopped. His heart hammered. Past being a teenager. The mermaid raised a brow. That's bad, even for surface dwellers. She drifted in the water, studying him. What's your name? He opened his mouth, and his mind hit a blank wall so hard it hurt. I think my name is Noah. You think? She snorted. You forgot your own name? His eyes burned. I don't know what's happening. I don't know what this place is. I do. She swam closer. And unless you want to drown again or get eaten by something with big teeth, you're sticking with me. Why would I trust you? Noah asked, voice shaking. She crossed her arms. Her expression sharpened. Her eyes glowed brighter. You think you've got everything figured out, but you don't, she said, crossing her arms. Trust me on that. Something about the way she said it hit deep. Like she wasn't warning him, but grieving something he didn't remember. He swallowed, nodding slowly. What's your name? He asked. Mira. A rumble echoed under the water. Deep, low, wrong. Mira tensed. We need to move. Now. From what? She didn't answer. She dove. Noah clung to the metal slab as something massive brushed against the other underside. His breath caught. Mira resurfaced several yards away, waving frantically. Not that way! Swim to me! I can't swim that far, Noah yelled. Then sink and die, she shot back. Your choice! Another rumble. Closer. Noah didn't hesitate. He kicked off the metal and swam toward Mira. Every stroke made his lungs scream, his muscles burn. Beneath him, the shadow grew. Mira reached him, grabbed his forearm, and propelled them both forward with incredible power. They cut through the water like a torpedo, buildings whooshing past. What is chasing us? Noah gasped. A machine, Mira hissed. Your people built it. My people? Humanity. Her voice was bitter. Congratulations. The surface vibrated. Something breached behind them with an explosion of water. Noah glanced back and saw red eyes, metal teeth, a serpentine mechanical body tearing through the waves. Noah screamed. What is that? The Leviathan, Mira snapped, and your brilliant species made 10 of them. It roared like metal screaming underwater. Mira yanked Noah sharply downward. He fought the instinct to inhale and let her pull him deep, deeper, until they reached an underwater alley of collapsed buildings forming a narrow passage. The Leviathan tried to follow but didn't fit. Its jaws crashed against concrete with a deafening metallic thunder. Noah's lungs burned. He couldn't hold it. Mira grabbed his jaw and forced a glowing sphere of water into his mouth. He panicked until oxygen rushed through him like cold air. His eyes widened. I can breathe? Temporarily, she said. Don't thank me yet. Light pierced the murky water. The Leviathan was trying to break through. Mira pulled Noah deeper into the flooded ruins, weaving through twisted scrapyards of submerged traffic lights, overturned buses, shattered toll booths, seaweed draped over everything like abandoned ghosts. She swam into a crumbling train station entrance. A rust-covered sign flickered underwater. South Line Metro, downtown. They slipped inside just as the Leviathan smashed through the alley above, sending a shockwave that crumbled concrete and clouded the water with dust. Inside the station, Mira surfaced into a trapped air pocket beneath the ruined ceiling. Noah gasped as the water drained from his nose and mouth. He clung to the edge, shaking. What the hell was that thing? Noah gasped. A hunter. One of many, Mira said quietly. Humanity built them to control the oceans, predict storms, manage climate. She met his eyes, something dark flickering in hers. But someone changed their instructions. Noah stared at her. You mean someone caused the flood? Her jaw tightened. You did. Silence. The dripping of water echoed like distant gunshots. Noah's pulse hammered in his throat. That's not possible, he whispered. I don't remember anything. I don't know who I am. Mira looked away. Her voice softened, just barely. That's the problem. A chunk of ceiling collapsed somewhere deeper in the metro, echoing like thunder. Mira flinched but continued. You built the original climate machine when you were a kid, a genius teenager, world-changing tech. But adults stole it, twisted it, weaponized it, and eventually flooded the world. Noah shook his head violently. No, I'm not. I wouldn't. You didn't, Mira said, her voice cracked. Someone forced you. Noah stared at her, his heart pounding in confusion and fear. How do you know all this? He whispered. Mira hesitated. For the first time, she looked unsure, vulnerable, almost broken. Because, she murmured, eyes glistening with something more than seawater. You promised me you'd stop them. Noah froze. But you failed. Before he could respond, a distant screech rang out, the Leviathan circling the station entrance. Mira grabbed his arm. We move now, or we don't move ever again. As she pulled him deeper into the darkness of the flooded station, Noah felt something he hadn't felt since waking. A flicker, a memory, a machine glowing blue, Mira screaming his name, water rising, and then nothing. He shivered. He wasn't sure if he was remembering the past or predicting the future. The deeper they went, the darker the world became. Mira pulled Noah through the flooded corridors of the metro system, her tail slicing through the water with powerful, deliberate strokes. Dark tiles, once white, now rotten with algae, slid past them. Fish darted between broken vending machines. A giant advertisement floated by in tatters, promising a brighter tomorrow in faded letters. The irony wasn't lost on Noah. How far does this place go? He whispered as they surfaced into another ruined air pocket. Mira's expression was unreadable. Farther than you want, farther than you remember. They floated beneath the tilted remains of a staircase leading to what once had been a bustling platform. Now it was a cavern of dripping echoes, skeletal beams, and water swirling beneath them like an open throat. Noah pulled himself onto a half-submerged concrete ledge, shivering. Mira hoisted herself partly out of the water, her tail glinting in the dim light. Noah watched her. You're not like the mermaids in the stories. Mira gave a humorless snort. You mean I don't comb my hair with seashells and sing about being where the people are? He almost smiled. Almost. She glanced at him, long enough for him to see pain behind her sarcasm. Look, Noah said, voice trembling. You keep telling me I did something, that I built something, that I caused this. He gestured around. But I don't remember any of it. You will, Mira whispered. Memories don't drown. They surface. Noah swallowed, unsure if her words were comforting or terrifying. Then a metallic groan echoed through the tunnels. Mira stiffened immediately. I found another entrance. Noah jolted. The Leviathan? Shh. She grabbed his wrist. Listen. The water rippled. Something heavy and enormous moved beneath them, its gears grinding, its body scraping against steel support beams. The glow of red eyes flashed like distant lightning underwater. Noah nearly slipped back into the water. Mira steadied him. Don't fall, she said. It hunts movement. They crouched low as a mechanical tentacle slithered between the cracks in the station floor, sweeping blindly through the water, searching. Noah's entire body shook. What happens if it finds us? He whispered. It won't kill you, Mira said. Her voice was tense, but it'll drag you back to whoever programmed it. And you? Her jaw clenched. Mermaids aren't so lucky. The tentacle withdrew with a hiss, and the glow vanished. Mira exhaled slowly. We need to get to the central hub, she said. There's air, food, and maybe, just maybe, something to spark your memory. How do you know all this? Noah pressed. She didn't meet his eyes. Because I've been looking for you for a long time. The words hit him like a current. Looking for me? Why? She pushed off the ledge. Keep up. Noah followed her into the water again, heart hammering with more questions than answers. The hub. They emerged into a massive cavern of concrete and collapsed metal beams, the heart of the underwater metro system. In the center was a dry platform, lit faintly by emergency lights that somehow still flickered. Vandals had spray painted murals, faces half smeared, messages half drowned. The sky betrayed us. We warned you. The machine is God. Noah stared at the graffiti, a sickening deja vu curling in his stomach. Mira pulled herself onto the platform, her tail shimmering in the dim red lights. She turned, offering Noah a hand. He took it. As he climbed up beside her, a memory hit him like a freight train. Flashing lights, people screaming, a machine humming with power, and Mira, human legs, human steps, running toward him. Fire behind him, water rising. Noah stumbled back, grabbing the side of his head. No, that's not possible. Mira tensed. You remembered something? You, he breathed. I saw you, with legs. You weren't. His words stuck. Mira's expression shattered. Don't, she whispered. Please don't say it. What happened to you? Noah asked, voice breaking. Her eyes glistened. You happened. Silence, cold, heavy as the flooded itself. Mira snapped her head toward him, wounded fury flashing in her eyes. You don't get to decide what's true. You don't remember. She pointed to her tail. This isn't a blessing. It's a side effect, an accident, a reminder. Noah's throat tightened. Mira, I'm sorry. She looked at him with a heartbreak so raw it made his chest ache. Save your apology, she said quietly. Save the world instead. Before he could speak, a voice crackled through the silence. Well, if it isn't my star prodigy. Noah froze. The voice wasn't Mira's, wasn't mechanical, wasn't friendly. A speaker hidden in the fall wall flickered to life, static buzzing. The voice continued. Noah, you've been a very difficult man to track down. Do you know what happens when you leave a genius half finished? Noah's blood turned to ice. Who is that? Mira bristled, tail coiling protectively around him. Silas Kane. Noah blinked. Who? Your mentor, Mira hissed. Your captor. The man who weaponized your research. The voice laughed, smooth and venomous. You'll remember soon, boy. Your mind is only locked because I locked it. A pause. And unfortunately for you, the key is swimming right beside you. Mira stiffened. Don't listen to him. The speaker crackled again. Bring him to me, Mira. Be a good little pet. Her hands curled into fists, scales flaring along her arms. You don't control me, she snarled. Silas chuckled. Oh, sweetheart, I already have. Something clanged overhead. Then a spotlight snapped on from a hole in the ceiling, bathing them both in blinding white. Noah, move! Mira shoved him, just as a massive steel cage slammed down around her. Mira! Noah screamed. She thrashed violently, crashing against the bars, tail slamming metal with bone-shaking force, but the cage was engineered to withstand the pressure of the deep. Let her go! Noah roared. Silas's voice oozed through the speaker. Oh, Noah. You always cared too much. Still do. That's why I need her. She's the last piece of your memory block. Without her, you'll never remember what you truly built. No, don't take her. The cage began rising through the hole in the ceiling, hauled by industrial chains. Mira reached through the bars, eyes fierce and terrified. Noah, don't follow him. He's lying. He'll kill you. I'm not leaving you. Noah shouted. Her expression cracked. Fear, rage, and something more painful than both. Noah, she whispered, voice trembling, you can't save me until you save yourself. The chains jerked, pulling her up. Noah, listen to me. She reached toward him, tears mixed with seawater. Noah, run! The cage disappeared above. Silas's voice purred. If you want her back, prodigy, come to the tower. A click. You know the one. Noah stood in the empty hub, chest heaving, heart breaking, fists trembling with helpless fury. Then a memory sliced through his mind. A skyscraper with a glowing rooftop, a machine humming like a living creature, Mira screaming his name, Silas gripping Noah by the shoulder. You're saving the world, son, even if it kills them. Water exploding through glass. Noah gasped. He remembered. Not everything, but enough. His machine was real. Silas used it. Mira was caught in the blast, and now Silas wanted to finish what he'd started. Noah clenched his jaw. Mira, I'm coming, he whispered. He turned toward the exit tunnel, toward the city, the Leviathans, the tower, and the past he'd been running from. He dove into the water. The Leviathan's roar echoed through the tunnels like the scream of a vengeful god. Noah didn't slow down. He was done running. Noah shot through the tunnels like a man possessed. The water felt colder now, sharper, like the sea itself knew where he was going and wanted to stop him. The memory sphere Mira had given him earlier still pulsed faintly in his lungs, but it was fading. Every minute mattered. The drowned city opened before him, towering skyscrapers now half fallen, half drowned. Storm clouds churned overhead, cracked by distant lightning. The tallest building, a dark monolith with its upper floors glowing a sickly blue, rose like a blade breaking the surface. Kane Global Research Tower. He knew it instantly. His prison, his laboratory, his nightmare. Mira's scream still echoed in his mind. Noah clenched his teeth. He wasn't stopping. Not now. Not after everything she'd lost, everything he'd lost. A roar vibrated through the water. The Leviathan. It surged from the shadows, metal coils slicing the sea like a guillotine. Noah swam as hard as he could, his heart thundering, lungs burning. He dove behind a collapsed highway pillar as the creature's jaws snapped where he'd been only a moment before. Red eyes scanned the darkness. Noah braced against the pillar, trembling. Suddenly, the water around him began to glow. Blue, pulsing, alive. Noah looked down. His arms, his chest. His skin was lighting up with circuitry-shaped veins, shimmering with the same electric blue as the tower. A memory surged. His teenage self, standing before a machine the size of a stadium. Mira, human, beside him. Silas Kane, smiling with cold pride. Noah, your body adapts to the machine's frequency. Only you can control it. You were born for this. Then pain, light, the world flooding. Noah choked on the memory. He wasn't just the inventor. He was the interface. The machine obeyed his biology, and Silas still had that control. The Leviathan picked up the signal. Its head snapped toward him. Noah pushed off the pillar and swam upward toward the tower's shattered lobby windows. The Leviathan lunged, tail propelling it like a missile through the flooding streets. Noah's fingers brushed the broken frame. The Leviathan lunged, water exploding, teeth slamming inches from his feet. And Noah hauled himself inside with a gasp. The monster crashed into the wall, shaking the entire tower. Noah staggered inside the submerged lobby. Furniture floated. Elevators hung crooked. Blue lights thrummed from the ceiling like heartbeat monitors. The tower was alive, waiting, calling to him. The Ascent. The water level inside the tower formed a vertical path upward through a broken elevator shaft. Noah grabbed a fallen cable and pulled himself up, hand over hand. His shoulders burned. His muscles screamed. But Mira's face burned harder in his chest. Halfway up the shaft, he heard her. "Mira?" he whispered. He froze, hanging in the dark, breath shaking. Mira's voice echoed faintly from above. "Noah, don't come. He'll kill you." Silas's voice followed, silky and cruel. "Oh, Mira, he's already dead. He just hasn't remembered yet." Noah's stomach sank. He climbed faster. At the top of the shaft, he pulled himself into a hallway flickering with failing lights. The air smelled like rust and ozone. His glowing veins pulsed harder with each step, sinking with the humming in the walls. Silas had turned the tower into a living amplifier for Noah's machine. On the far end of the hall, a steel door sealed with biometric locks. Noah's handprint glowed faintly on the scanner. It opened for him. He stepped inside. The lab. Lights blazed to life, and there, in the center of a circular lab, Mira hung suspended inside a cylindrical water tank. Her hair floated around her like black smoke. Her tail drifted lifelessly. Her hands pressed weakly against the glass as she saw Noah stumble forward. "Noah." He ran to her, slamming his hands against the tank. "Mira, I'm here. I'm getting you out." But the machinery around the tank glowed the same blue as his veins. The entire system was wired into the tower's power grid. A slow, deliberate clap echoed behind him. Noah turned. Silas Kane stood in the shadows, older now, silver hair, eyes cold and shining with greed. "You came," Silas murmured. "Good boy." Noah lunged. Silas raised a small remote, and with a single button, electricity surged through the tank. Mira screamed. Her tail convulsed. Her body shook with pain, bubbles streaming from her mouth in a frantic burst. "Stop!" Noah roared. "Stop it!" Silas did. He was enjoying this. "You turned her into this," Noah spat, trembling with rage. "You used my machine, my research, my life to destroy the world." Silas smiled like Noah was a naive child. "I rebuilt the world," he corrected. "Humanity was drowning in its own corruption. Pollution, war, greed. I gave them a new world, one cleansed by water." "You killed millions." Silas shrugged. "Progress requires sacrifice." Noah stepped closer, eyes burning. "What do you want from me?" Silas gestured to Mira. "You see her?" The transformation wasn't a side effect. It was deliberate. She is the missing link between human adaptability and aquatic evolution. Noah's blood ran cold. "You didn't save her," Silas whispered. "You preserved her, improved her, and now her altered biology is the final key to restarting the machine at full power." Noah's voice broke. "You monster!" Silas gestured to the glowing tank. "Touch the glass. Go on." Silas smiled cruelly. "You, your body syncs with the machine. Hers does too. You and Mira together, you are the ignition." Mira's eyes widened with horror. "No, don't." Silas pressed another button. The tank drained violently, leaving Mira gasping on the floor as restraints snapped around her wrists and tail, pinning her down. "No!" Noah sprinted toward her. Silas pressed a final command. Noah collapsed as electricity tore through him, blue circuits bursting across his skin. He screamed, body trembling, every nerve on fire. And Mira screamed with him, the machine sinking their pain, their hearts, their breath. Tears streamed down Noah's face. Mira, I'm sorry. No, she whispered, tears mixing with seawater. Don't apologize. Fight. The lights flickered. The tower shook. The leviathans roared outside, awaiting orders. Silas stepped toward the control panel for the final override. It ends now, he proclaimed. Noah looked at Mira, the girl who had saved him, cursed because of him, searching for him, believing in him despite everything he'd forgotten. And something broke in him. No, Noah whispered. It ends with you. His glowing veins surged brighter, brighter until the entire room bathed in blinding blue light. Silas froze. What are you doing? Noah rose to his feet, electricity streaming off his skin. I built the machine, he said. His voice echoed with power. I can break it. Mira's eyes widened, not in fear, but in fierce, desperate hope. Noah. He slammed both hands onto the control panel. Every light exploded. The machine screamed. The tower shook like bones of the earth were splitting. Water burst through the floors and walls, flooding everything. Noah, stop! Silas shrieked. You'll destroy the entire city! Good, Noah whispered. Silas lunged, but Mira, freed by the surge, launched upward with newfound strength and slammed him into the glass wall. Her tail shattered 3 ribs in one blow. Silas collapsed, gasping. Mira turned to Noah. Let's finish it. Noah met her eyes, smiled a broken, aching smile. Together. They grabbed the core interface, 2 hands, one human, one shimmering with scales, and pushed their combined energy into it. The machine convulsed. Metal screamed. Lights shattered. Outside, the leviathans froze mid-strike, then collapsed into the sea like puppets with their strings cut. The tower vibrated harder, harder, and harder. Noah! Mira yelled over the deafening roar. It's going to blow! Noah's heart stopped. He looked at her. Really looked at her. Tangled hair, glowing eyes, scales shimmering, breathing hard, alive, free. He reached out. She took his hand. The world exploded. Physical? Book. Edited. Now!
Yes. That was compelling. Dad? Oh my god. It's definitely a novella if it's not a book. But it needs to be in our hands right now. Like yesterday.
Expand just a wee bit. Just a wee bit. Expand. To novella.
Novella's fine.
Novella's fine. It Here's the difference, okay? No novella. Look, see, novella is fine, but I need more of this world. I need more of these characters. I need more. Drag out the swimming through everything. Make me feel like I'm motherfucking drowning. Good God. Good God, all you people with your fucking tentacles and your spiders and your fucking drowning, all of my fucking fears just thrown right in my fucking face, and I'm reading it aloud and I'm having a hard time breathing and my fucking heart is in my fucking chest. Look at you people. But no, I need more. I need more, Mr. Nathan fucking Stark. Yeah, I need more. Where have you fucking been? The world
Hiding behind Julie because she's not. Hell hit him.
Yeah, Julie's the one that brought him in, so.
Nathan Stark. Are you listening to me right now? Look at Izzy right now and understand. You have a very long career ahead of you. Right.
There he is. There he is.
You are
He finally showed up.
Ever allowed to stop. You can watch it on the replay. On the replay. Because hydrate or dihydrate, folks. I need a minute because I've also been informed that I'm going to yell at Julie not because of the word count but because of content. So there's too much motherfucking oxygen in my nicotine system, and I need to bring my heart rate from up here down to here just for it to be raised again because
Emotional damage.
Emotional damage. Emotional damage is correct. I need to know if they survived. I need to know. Did they survive? How did they get there?
Here's the kicker. I don't know. Before anybody asks me, I don't know. I know as much as y'all do.
I didn't think you knew anything.
But it's like before anybody's like, well, Julie brought him in. I'm like, yes, but I have no idea. But he did tell me this was going to end on a cliffhanger. A cliffhanger he has fully just now told me he has every intention of finishing writing, but it was going to end on a cliffhanger.
That's not just a cliffhanger. This is like dangling out over the Grand Canyon.
No, this is like dangling out over a fucking like with the ass of the Titanic in the air and the propellers spinning, and you got a fucking shark with its mouth open.
Yeah, that works too.
I was saving my voice for this one.
I see why.
Giggity.
Why are... I think we're just redeeming stuff now. That's a hard one to just give like that feedback to because it is so powerful. Wow. Yeah. So, Izzy's on break, and everyone else is just like gobsmacked by how insanely talented Mr. Stark is. How's everyone's night going so far? Or day, as the case may be. As I know the case is. And we've got people down here doing all the reactions right now. I'm glad to hear that, Mr. Stark. I think Izzy is terrified out of her mind at this point. Allegedly writing your daily tale. I don't know. After that, can you like focus? Glad to hear that, Trisha. Yeah, who's next? Do Of course you are. I Somehow I don't think it's going to be a problem. You always come through, Julie.
Oh, it's not the coming through part. I'm just wondering how much Izzy's gonna go off because that was the thing. Bubba, you know we always got you.
I mean, she brings out the duct tape. We know there's an issue. We know she liked it. She's out here doing her thing in the chat. Just I don't think any of us will be satisfied till we have all his books on our shelves. And yes, Leon, Julie will be fine. I'm sure they don't destroy the world at the end. Yay, Blitzer! Yes! More writers. I love hearing that. Do you think I need to get a hold of the Spawn and have them check on her? Nah, you think she's okay? Because we got Mr. Stark down here asking her to breathe. I think you need to breathe too.
I'm trying to, but every time I try to breathe, it's not going very well. No, Nathan is very sensitive when it comes to shouty capitals. So he will tell he does the same thing to me when I get shouty capitals, and it's breathe.
Yeah, she's not going to breathe till she has those books on her shelf. Because that's Izzy. Oh my gosh. This week has been some phenomenal writing. I'm kind of blown away. Like, everyone's pieces have been, like, phenomenal.
Everybody did an amazing job this week, and the fact that Bitzer and Death Head are inviting more people, this is everything I ever hoped for, and so much more. And I cannot be more proud of our group. And yes, I give everybody shit. It's an equal opportunity shit show in here. And yes, I will say the same thing. It's like, damn, that's a hard act to follow. It is a hard act to follow. I know that it'll be fine. It's still a hard act to follow. Like, and this time when they were, Nathan was having technical issues yesterday. He was the one with the technical issue. And when he sent it to me, instead of sending it to the Home FM Promptcast, he sent it to me. So I had to forward it in to the Home FM Promptcast. But it was fine. I usually claps down the font size so it's not that big. But Izzy's like, no, leave it that size. I'm like, okay. So everybody did a phenomenal job this week. I cannot wait to see what everybody does for next week. And when we have the anniversary show, because the anniversary show is literally the first show of the year. And we will have been doing this for 3 years. And that's wild. It is. It's absolutely freaking wild. I'm trying very, very hard to feel better.
Have you been taking your medicine?
I took it right before the show. And unfortunately, I can't take it but every 4 hours.
Did you get did you get any like cough drops of any kind to help with the throat?
And I got the honey ones this time, so I was well prepared. I just sound like a fucking squeaky toy. It's like, you can't sound intimidating like this.
We got Izzy over here hate eating. Like, oh, I can't wait, Mr. Stark. I can't wait. You have come out of the gate with a bang. And all three of your submissions so far have been powerful in one way or another.
Don't get me wrong, I love all your guys' work. I love your stories. I love your storytelling and everything else. But if I do not have a Nathan Stark book in physical form on that shelf by Christmas 2026, I will track you down. And I will get my book.
Oh. She's serious. She's
Just don't forget
serious.
my Google foo is strong. Oh, and I have a direct pipeline to you. This may not be enough duct tape. I have a Julie DeFisher book on my shelf. I have 2 Julie DeFisher books on my shelf. I have 4 PA Power books on my shelf. I have 3 Trisha Jones books on my shelf. I have C.L. Carner on my shelves. I have G.T. Gretz on my shelves. I have C.R. McCormick books on my shelves. I have books on my shelves. When we get a book from C.M. Weller, when we get a book from, they are going right here along with Nathan Stark. So I know you're new to this game, kiddo, but you belong on an Izzy Krauss shelf. Breathe, Izzy. Breathe. Good, Bitzer. Put it in the Discord. I don't even care that I am chewing and talking with my mouth full of food. Put it in there. I need the books. I need the motherfucking books. Izzy don't play. I need all the motherfucking books. I need to Vanna White this shit. I get really possessive over my writers, too. Just FYI. You're all mine. I licked you. I claimed you. You're mine now.
Oh, Bits are saying
All right.
Z has indie published stuff.
Yes. Ooh, yes. New stand mixer. Yes, definitely. Go make the things. Must get the thing for beloved. Yes. Okay. Okay. And with all that, we are now popping into our fearless leader, Julie DeFisher herself. Let's see how many times I mute this mic and threaten yet another author with duct tape. And I have her address. Ring of Fire. The Chevelle waited for her in that familiar half-light that isn't day or night, just the soft blue haze her dreams always wear. The metal is warm beneath her thighs as she sits on the hood, legs parted, boots braced on either side of him. There's no threat here, no noise, no world. Only the faint tick of a cooling engine and Cassian standing between her knees like he belongs there. Like he's always belonged there. His hands find her waist first, not grabbing, not demanding, but anchoring her, palms wide and warm, thumbs brushing the sensitive dip just above her hips. That small touch alone sent a wave through her, a full body ache that started deep in her chest, spreading outward. Riot. His voice isn't a whisper. It's a plea. It's reverence. Like her name was a prayer he finally got to say out loud. He leaned in. He leaned in, mouth tracing the hollow of her throat. Slow kisses up the column of her neck. Each one was unhurried, intentional, like he's memorizing her even here, even in the place they can never quite seem to touch in reality. Her fingers slide into his hair, tugging him closer, feeling him breathe her in. His breath was warm against her ear when he spoke again. I've wanted you for so long. You have no idea. But she did. She felt it in the way his hands trembled just barely against her waist, and how he pulled back enough to look at her, really look at her, like she's the only real thing in his entire world. You think you've got everything figured out, but you don't, she said, eyes pleading for him not to let her go. Trust me that I do. His forehead pressed to hers, his nose brushing her cheek, and it hit her with a force she couldn't brace against. How badly she wanted him, how terrifying that want was, how unsafe it felt to need someone who could break her without even meaning to. He tilted her chin up with two fingers, gentle, coaxing, not controlling. His eyes held hers, dark and heated but soft at the edges. Tell me you feel it too, he murmured. Not an order, a confession. His hand slid to her lower back, pulling her forward until her chest pressed against his, and they fit together so perfectly it stole her breath. The contact sent a ripple through her entire body. Not lust, though that was there, burning hot but longing. A need so deep it made her bones ache. She felt his heart pounding against her sternum, felt her own racing in answer. His lips skimmed hers, barely a touch, a spark, and it set her alight. Cassian didn't kiss her yet. It was as if he was toying with her, fanning the flames of a fire that would soon burn out of control. He held her face between his hands, thumbs brushing her cheeks like she's something precious. I wake up wanting you, he whispered against her mouth. I go to bed wanting you. His voice broke there, just a little. And I don't know how to stop. Her breath shuddered, chest tightening with something that wasn't fear, but so close it hurt. She pulled him down, kissing him slow, deep, consuming, and the world tilted. His fingers dug into her hips, pulling her further into him, and the Chevelle vibrated beneath them, metal humming like it knew this was where they're meant to be. His mouth trailed her jaw, her throat, her collarbone. Each touch was heavier, more urgent, but the heat was layered with something else, something softer, something that felt like a promise. Stay, he whispered against her skin. Just stay. She cupped his face, forcing him to look up. Cass. His eyes were raw, unguarded, vulnerable in a way he'd never allow himself while awake. I'm yours, he admits, breath trembling. I don't know how to be anything else. And just when she thought she'd tell him everything she's terrified to want, the dream shatters. Riot jerked awake, sheets twisted around her legs, Her skin flushed head to toe, breath coming in ragged pulls. The bed beside her was empty, cold, too big. Dream Cassian's hands still burned phantom marks on her hips. Reality Cassian was sound asleep in his own bed, and that, more than the dream, was what made her chest ache. An ache that was stupid, unfair, and absolutely her own fault. She dragged a shaky hand over her face, muttering a curse. Hold on, technical difficulties. Google Chrome not responding.
Chrome froze on you? Uh-oh. I think she froze. Yeah. Yes. I'm yeah, we'll go with that. Oh, we just lost Izzy. Hopefully everything's okay with her computer. We love computers. Especially when they just randomly shut off. Because
Heck, on the backstage, it shows me, it shows Hold My Pen, it shows you, and then you're also under Julie's name.
me?
Oh, now I have Julie's background. And Julie's back under Julie.
Oh, that's
Twitch be
weird.
twitching.
Yeah, Twitch be twitching.
I swear it's the weather.
I would not be surprised because it is no joke out there. I had to get 6 inches of snow off my car this afternoon. That was
Right.
fun.
Patrick, turn your camera off. Turn it back on, please.
What was it doing?
You and Kesh were in the same spot. No, you're not.
Twitch is twitching.
I'm not seeing any problems on my end. But also, I'm using iOS, so maybe it's something with like Windows or well, no, you both are on.
Our phones.
Yeah, soon Patrick will have Julie's cat in his arms. The way everything keeps jumping around, I guess. CD, I use iOS because I have iPad and iPhone. So, and I'm is everything okay, Izzy? Oh, well, maybe we shouldn't be putting a keyboard on top of a laptop keyboard. Just saying.
I already know the answer to this, but does this get me out of having mine read tonight?
No.
Oh, nope, there she is.
There we go. Even the computer thought it was too hot. Holy Moses. Okay. We're back. We're back. Okay. Riot jerked awake. Sheets twisted around her legs, her skin flushed head to toe, breath coming in ragged pulls. The bed beside her was empty, cold, too big. Dream Cassian's hands still burned phantom marks on her hips. Reality Cassian was sound asleep in his own bed. And that, more than the dream, was what made her chest ache. An ache that was stupid, unfair, and absolutely her own fault. She dragged the shaky hand over her face, muttering a curse. It was barely past dawn. She could tell from the bluish gray light pushing at the blinds. She shouldn't feel disappointed. She went to bed alone. She wanted space. Cassian wanted space. Didn't he? But the dream lingered. His breath, his hands, the way he looked at her like he saw her and not the armor she hid under. It's too much. Riot pulled herself from the bed, fire burning deep in her soul. She marched herself over to the closet, pulling her cargoes, a clean shirt and oversized hoodie from the hangers, dressing in haste, but also trying not to make a sound. Escaping through the laundry room, Riot headed for the garage. If she was going to survive the day, he needed metal, engines, and noise. Things she could fix or destroy. Anything to ignore the mess the dream left behind. Cassian woke with his heart in his throat. He could feel her warmth, her shape, still pressed against him even though his arms were empty. For a moment, he was convinced she was still there, in his bed, curled into him like she'd been in his dream. The sheets were cold, the house was quiet, and he was alone. He stared at the ceiling, breathing hard. In his dream, she'd been standing barefoot in the kitchen wearing sweats and one of his old shirts, hair up, soft, warm, herself. He'd come up behind her, arms slipping around her waist. She'd leaned back into him like she belonged there, like he wasn't one breath away from bolting in the real world. "Don't go," she'd whispered. He scrubbed a hand down his face, hating the emptiness in the center of his chest. He'd wanted her for years, and now that she was here, his wife, and he couldn't touch her without risking pushing her further away. Idiot, he muttered to himself. Cassian dressed quietly so he wouldn't disturb her. If she slept, maybe she'd rest. Maybe she'd have a good day. Maybe she'd. He sighed heavily. Cassian knew he would drive himself to drinking if he didn't stop with the what if, especially before coffee. Though it drove him crazy how much she actually occupied his thoughts. Half an hour later, when Cassian pulled his car out of the house garage, he saw the lights on in the shop. Of course, Riot was already awake, already working, and successfully avoiding him. He killed the engine for a moment and sat there like a fool, watching her small silhouette move inside the garage, bending over the front end of the Chevelle, a laser focused even at dawn. The sight pulled at something in his chest he'd rather not acknowledge, but it was the same feeling he'd felt when he'd helped her Saturday. He wished he could go to her, say fuck it all and stay at her side. He also wished she'd want him to. But wanting and having had never been the same thing with Riot. With a quiet, sharp exhale, he forced himself to start the car, put it in drive, and pull away. The ache of leaving her behind felt stupidly close to physical, almost like betrayal. Cassian told himself all the way down the driveway he was giving her space, even if it felt like cutting off his own oxygen. Traffic was light on the two-lane highway out of Shelbyville. Early sun streaked across the windshield, washing the world in pale gold, but none of it touched Cassian. He'd gripped the steering wheel so tightly his knuckles were white. Every mile felt wrong. Leaving her felt wrong. The dream kept replaying, uninvited and too vivid. Riot in his kitchen, soft morning light on her bare legs, her voice whispering, "Don't go." He exhaled sharply, trying to shake it off. He couldn't afford this. Not today. Monday mornings at Locke Industries was a battlefield. Quarterlies, contracts, meetings lined back to back until he forgot what sunlight looked like. He should have been able to flip the switch by now. He couldn't. Not today. Not after the weekend they had. His phone buzzed through the car's Bluetooth. Bishop calling. Of course. Cassian answered, voice flat. "What?" "Well, good morning to you too, sunshine," Bishop said, his tone carrying that razor-edged humor he saved specifically for Cassian. "How's married life? You looked well rested in the security feeds." Cassian's jaw flexed. "Don't start." "Oh, I've already started," Bishop replied, "especially after you logged into the Shelbyville cameras 3 times before 6:30. You are spying on your wife before your coffee now? That's a new low. Or high. I can't decide." Cassian didn't respond. Couldn't, because every word landed too close to the truth. After a beat, Bishop sighed, the exasperated, long-suffering kind. "She's fine, Cass," he said, tone shifting to something more grounded. "Riot's tougher than both of us combined. If she needs space, give her space. Or, crazy idea, talk to her like a human being instead of lurking like a storm cloud with commitment issues." Cassian stared straight ahead, teeth clenched. I'm not discussing this with you. Uh-huh, sure. And yet here we are. The city skyline started appearing in the distance, sharp and silver against the morning haze. Cassian adjusted his grip on the wheel. Did you call for an actual work reason or just to irritate me? Oh, I can multitask, Bishop said. Morning meetings are moved to 9. You need to sign off on the Charleston contracts before then. And your mother texted 6 times asking if you're bringing your wife to Thanksgiving. His stomach tightened. I'm not having this conversation with her before 8 a.m. Well, great news. You won't be, because she sent Grace to handle it for her. Cassian's head snapped toward the phone display, even though he was driving. Grace? Today? Yep, she's already at the office, probably planning to interrogate you about the mysterious tension at dinner last night. A beat. You and Riot were about as subtle as a bar fight. Cassian exhaled through his nose, long and sharp. Riot was tired. She was uncomfortable, Bishop corrected. You two looked like you were reenacting the Cold War across the table. Or at least that's the way Grace tells it. And we both know she's rarely wrong. Cassian doesn't answer because Bishop nor Grace was wrong. But hearing it out loud stung. Bishop softened. Just slightly. Cass, you found her. After all that time. After everything you put into this. Don't screw it up now. Cassian swallowed hard. The city was getting closer. His world was getting louder. But all he could see was Riot in the dim light of the garage, bent over an engine, stubborn and beautiful, and hurting in ways he couldn't reach. I know. Cassian's voice was quiet. Bishop heard the shift and chose, for once, not to push. See you in 15. The call ended. Cassian drove the last stretch into Nashville on autopilot, the city rising up around him like steel walls closing in. And for the first time in a long time, he doesn't feel at home in it. Okay, quick pause. Quick motherfucking pause. I absolutely fucking love Bishop. Bishop is my guy. Bishop is my dude. Bishop is Dude Izzy. Okay? Bishop is the... Oh, really? You think? You think? Sure, I'll do what you want, boss, but you funny. Bishop, my dude. Bishop, my dude. Just saying. Bishop's mine. I lick him. I claim him. Locke Industries' downtown tower gleams in the morning sun, all glass and clean lines, everything Cassian was supposed to be. His badge was scanned. The lobby doors slid open. Inside, espresso machines humming, assistants power walking, the low roar of money moving. Sorry, ignoring comments. Normally this settled him, grounded him, reminded him who he was and where he came from. Today it grated. He stepped into the private elevator and rode up to the executive floor. The doors opened directly into the main suite. Minimalist, controlled, his kingdom. But he didn't feel like a king this morning. He felt like a man who left his wife standing barefoot in a garage and couldn't stop wondering if she thought he didn't want to wake up with her. His assistant, Lydia, tracked him from her desk. Good morning, Mr. Locke. Contracts for Charleston are on your desk. Bishop moved your meetings, but the 9 o'clock expects you sharp. Cassian gave a curt nod. Thank you. He pushed into his office. The air was cool. The skyline stretched beyond the floor-to-ceiling windows. Everything was organized with military precision, his preferred battlefield. He dropped his briefcase, shrugged off his jacket, and forced himself into the chair. Emails, contracts, market forecasts. His eyes blurred over all of it. The silence pressed in, too loud, which is how he ended up tapping his thumb against the desk, a nervous tick few acknowledged. Then he opened the security feed window, pulling up the Shelbyville cameras with a speed that should embarrass him. Damn right it should embarrass him. What the fuck? Like, why didn't you just stay at the fucking house and go out into that fucking garage and bend? The garage feeds loaded, and there she was, Riot, bent over the Chevelle, grease on her forearm, hair twisted up, focused, stubborn, beautiful, safe. A slow exhale filtered through him, tension draining as if simply seeing her reset something in his chest. Damn, he muttered, leaning closer. Jesus Christ, Cassian. Cassian snapped upright. Bishop was standing in the doorway with a coffee in his hand in the absolute worst timing known to man. Cassian immediately clicked out of the camera window. Too late. I wasn't. Cassian started. You absolutely were. Bishop stepped inside, shutting the door with his foot, and dropped into the seat across from him. Tell me you at least waited until you got to the office before obsessively checking on your wife. Cassian scowled. It was one time. That I saw. Bishop raised an eyebrow. Which means we're probably on an attempt number, what, 5, 6? Did you even make it out of the driveway before pulling up the feed? Yes. Cassian cut his eyes toward Bishop. Because Bishop was right, and they both knew it. Bishop leaned forward, forearms on his knees. Cassian, buddy, my guy, you can't stalk your own spouse like a security risk. I wasn't stalking. His tone was sharp, defensive. I was making sure she was okay. By watching her bend over an engine like it's premium entertainment? Bishop sipped his coffee, then gestured toward Cassian's laptop. You looked like a man about to start slipping dollar bills into the screen. Cassian shot him a flat look. Bishop. Cass. Beat of silence. Cassian rubbed a hand over his jaw, the ghost of this morning's dream flickering too close. He tried again. She didn't sleep well. I just wanted to check on her. Bishop's snark softened. Not much, but enough. And that's fair. You care. Good. But you also need to breathe, man. Give her a minute to come to you. Cassian pressed his lips together and looked away. I'm trying. No, Bishop said bluntly. You're spiraling. Cassian glared but didn't deny it. Bishop stood, smoothing his tie. 9 o'clock in 10 minutes. Try to act like you're the CEO and not some lovesick idiot who hasn't touched a woman in. Get out! Cassian roared. Bishop grinned. There he is. He left, and the door clicked shut. Cassian exhaled slowly. He opened the Charleston contract package again, but this time, he didn't click the camera feed back open. He didn't have to, because she was there, burned into the back of his eyes, pulling him, steadying him, undoing him. And he had no idea how he was supposed to make it through the rest of the day like this. A few hours later, Cassian had finished dismantling the Charleston contract when someone knocked lightly. Too polite to be Bishop, too gentle to be anyone from legal. He didn't look up. Come in. Grace slipped inside, closing the door behind her. She's polished, in a soft gray suit, hair neatly pulled back, her expression the perfect blend of younger sister concern and corporate steel. Morning, she says, stepping closer. Mom asked me to stop by. Of course she did. Cassian leaned back. What does she want now? Grace lifted a brow. To remind you that Thanksgiving is next week, and you didn't confirm anything at dinner last night. I didn't realize it required confirmation. It always requires confirmation, she said, especially when your wife was sitting right there. Cassian stiffened slightly, just enough for Grace to notice. She pulled the chair Bishop had vacated earlier and sat. Cass, you okay? Fine. You look terrible. I said I'm fine. Grace studied him the way only a sibling can. Quiet, knowing, unblinking. Her eyes shifted toward his laptop, toward the faint ghost of the camera window still visible on the taskbar. You miss her, she said softly. He exhaled once, sharp. She's at the house. That's not what I said. Cassian didn't answer or look up from the paperwork. Grace leaned her elbows on her knees, mirroring Bishop earlier, but without the bite. You two looked tense last night. It's complicated, he muttered. With you, it always is, she smirked. But Riot? She's different. She's honest and stubborn, like you, which is either perfect or destructive depending on the temperature in the room. She needs space. Does she? Grace asked gently. Or are you too scared she'll walk if you push too hard? Cassian's jaw flexed. Grace stood, smoothing her jacket. Just don't assume distance is what she wants. Sometimes people pull away because they're waiting to see if you'll follow. Nothing like getting called out. Okay. She reached the door before adding, Call her, Cass, before you spent the whole day watching her on a camera feed. And then she was gone. Cassian sat there, pulse thick in his throat, fingers already drifting toward the phone before he could talk himself out of it. He opened the garage camera. Riot was still there, bent over the Chevelle, focused, determined, avoiding him so hard it made his chest ache. He hit her contact, then called. Cassian watched as Riot didn't hear the phone at first, not over the music. When she finally did, she wiped her hands on a rag and answered without looking at the screen. What? She asked, a little breathless. God help him, he softened instantly. Everything all right down there? She paused. Cass? Who else calls you from this number? You're at work. I figured maybe Bishop stole your phone or something. A metallic clank sounded in the background. What's up? He watched her lean into the engine bay, unaware he could see the curve of her neck, the tension in her shoulders, the stray smudge of grease across her cheek. Wanted to check in, he said. You left early. Didn't see you before I left. That was the point, Locke, she muttered, but her tone lacked bite. Didn't want to wake you. His grip tightened on the phone. You hear anything about Rust Creek? He asked, trying for casual. Nothing good. Roads are still a mess. Sheriff said maybe a day or two before they reopen. All depends if they can get a handle on the dam. Cassian hesitated. Too long, probably, but once the words formed, he couldn't stop them. You could come up here. Riot stilled. To Nashville? Yeah. He cleared his throat. Stay at the penthouse. There's a dinner meeting tomorrow night, and the truth slipped in. And I'd like you to be there. Or I'd like you here. Silence hummed between them, thick enough to choke on. Then Riot exhaled, low and rough. I'll think about it. He nodded, knowing she couldn't see it. All right. They hung up. He didn't realize how long he stared at the black screen until Bishop walked back in and stopped dead. What did you do? Bishop demanded. Cassian blinked. Invited my wife to dinner. Bishop laughed like it physically hurt him. And that's why you look like you needed a defibrillator. Grace popped her head back in as if summoned. She's coming, isn't she? Cassian swallowed. Maybe. Grace flashed a triumphant, knowing smile. Then, big brother, you better get your shit together. And for the first time all day, something in his chest kicked back to life. Riot set her phone down on the workbench and stared at it like it had personally offended her. The call had barely ended, but her pulse was still thundering from the sound of his voice. He'd sounded different. Not the frosty, self-contained Cassian she knew, but as if the one from the last few days was still poking around. Not the man who stood in doorways wanting things he never said aloud, but one that was tipping his hand, if only a little bit. Cassian was quieter, rougher, almost hesitant, like he didn't want to hang up. She wiped her palms down the thighs of her cargoes, pulling air into her chest until it stopped trembling. Come up here. His voice stuck in her memory like a handprint. She reached for the wrench she'd dropped but missed, the metal clattering across the concrete floor. Riot muttered under her breath and rubbed her face with both hands. This wasn't supposed to be complicated. She'd stayed in Shelbyville to give him space, because he needed it, because they both needed to stop running whatever this was in circles. But the second she heard him, damn it, she could hear something in him she hadn't heard in weeks, something that crept under her ribs and wouldn't let go. Riot looked at the Chevelle, at the black steel, the open engine, the safety of it, and for a few breaths she tried to talk herself out of going to Nashville. It didn't work, because the truth hit her with a force she hated. She missed him. Badly. God damn it, son of a bitch, she muttered, grabbing her keys. She shut the bay door, killing the lights behind her. Cold November air swept across the driveway as she jogged toward the bike he'd bought her, then stopped halfway, cursing again. No spare clothes, no bag, not even her toothbrush. Whatever. He married her. He could deal. Riot swung her leg over the bike, thumbed the ignition, and felt the rumble climb up her spine. The sky was low and gray, the wind biting, but she didn't care. She pulled the phone out again, thumb hovering over his name. She hesitated, because giving him any hint of what she felt was dangerous, but she typed it anyway. Riot, I'm coming up. Be there in a bit. She hit send before she could rethink it. The phone buzzed almost instantly. He didn't call, didn't text back, but the read receipt popped up, and she could feel him react through the silence. Riot smirked despite herself. Helmet on, gloves tight, she revved the engine and peeled out of the driveway, gravel spitting behind her. If she was doing this, showing up in Nashville, seeing him face to face, then she'd have to face everything she'd been avoiding. Him wanting her wanting him, and the way both burned like wildfire when they were in the same room. She sped toward the highway anyway, wind tearing at her clothes, heart hammering, because for once, running toward Cassian felt less terrifying than running away. What should have taken at minimum an hour and a half had Riot pulling in exactly an hour after she had decided to come with the echo of the concrete. She had noticed a new sign by Cassian's other cars. Mrs. Locke. Riot shook her head. Cassian had given her a personal parking spot. She'd probably say something to him later about it, but right now, all she wanted was to get out of the November chill. The elevator doors slid open, and Riot stepped out, helmet under one arm, jacket half unzipped from the warm ride up. She didn't even get a chance to use her key before the penthouse door swung open, and Grace appeared in the doorway holding 2 coffees, like she'd been pacing with them for 10 minutes. "There you are," she breathed, relief softening her whole face. Then, without giving Riot a chance to object, she thrust one of the cups toward her. "Here, you look like you rode through a storm." Riot blinked, took the cup, and inhaled the warmth. "Thanks." "Come on in." Grace stepped aside, ushering her in with a gentle hand at Riot's shoulder. "You being here just saved your husband from a full-blown meltdown." Riot snorted. "A meltdown? Cassian?" Grace shut the door with her hip, shot her a look. Mm-hmm. Big one. The kind where Bishop had to tell him to sit down before he wore a hole in the floor. Riot fought a smile, sipping the coffee. Did he now? They made their way into the living room. Grace curled onto the couch, barefoot in leggings and an oversized sweater, comfortably at home, but clearly summoned for a mission. Riot stayed standing for a second, unsure, until Grace tapped the cushion beside her. Sit. I want to look at you for a second. Riot sat. Grace gave her a slow once over, not judging, taking stock. No bag. Grace finally said, Nope. You really just got on that bike and rode? Riot shrugged. It was either come here or sit in the shop waiting for the roads in Rust Creek to open. Grace hummed, understanding blooming in her eyes. Well, I'm glad you came. Cassian's been useless all day without you. She added quickly. Not that he'll ever admit that out loud. Riot blew out a breath, leaning back. He invited me. Thought he was just checking in. Oh, honey. Grace reached over and patted her knee. That man called you because he didn't know how else to say he missed you. Riot looked down at her coffee, hiding the small smile threatening to show. Grace pushed herself up from the couch. All right, I'm going to run and get ready so you have some space. But before I do, she disappeared down the hall for 2 seconds and came back with a garment bag draped over her shoulder, over her arm. She held it out, not dramatic, just matter of fact. I brought you something for dinner tonight. Classy, not stuffy. Figured it'd beat wearing jeans and road dust. Riot accepted it carefully. Grace, you didn't have to. I know, she grinned, but I wanted to. And tomorrow, that business dinner he mentioned, I'm taking you shopping in the morning. My treat. You're going to walk in there looking like sin and confidence. Riot's throat tightened just a little at the unexpected warmth. Thank you. Really. Grace gave her a soft smile, one that said sister, even if Riot didn't know what to do with that word yet. I'll be in the guest room, making myself presentable, she said lightly. You take your time, drink your coffee, and breathe. She headed down the hallway, calling back over her shoulder with a wink Riot could hear in her voice. And just so you know, when your text came in, Cassian stopped in place like someone yanked his plug out of the wall. The quiet settled around Riot the second Grace disappeared down the hall. No hum of shop tools, no gravel crunching under her boots, no distant rumble of Cassian's Escalade in the driveway, just the soft, expensive stillness of the penthouse. She set her helmet on the entry table, wiped a strand of wind-tossed hair from her cheek, and walked toward the kitchen island. The coffee was still warm in her hand. She took another slow sip. Something sweet Grace had probably ordered on purpose, then set the cup down beside the garment bag. For a moment, she just stared at it. People didn't bring her things, not unless she needed to fix it. People didn't think ahead for her, well outside her chosen family, and even then it was a toss-up since she had married Cassian. People didn't look at her and say, you deserve something nice, and those that did came off very condescending, except Cassian, who tried to do it with money. Grace did it with heart. Riot dragged the zipper down. Inside was a slip-style satin dress, deep forest green. Nothing flashy, nothing loud, just effortless. Clean lines, thin straps, something that would skim her waist and make her shoulders look like trouble. Riot blew out a slow breath. Grace, she whispered under her breath, you really didn't have to. She couldn't deny it. It was perfect. Not fancy, not pretentious, just beautiful in a way she didn't usually let herself be. She ran her fingers over the fabric, feeling the silky weight. Was this too much for dinner? Was this what Cassian expected? Did she care? She paused, looked toward the floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the Nashville skyline. She cared more than she wanted to. Her phone buzzed. A text from Cassian. Made it safe? Simple. Straightforward. But she could practically hear the way he typed it. Thumb over the screen, jaw tight, pretending he wasn't checking every 2 minutes. Riot picked up her coffee again, grounding herself with the warmth. She texted back, "Yeah, Grace met me. I'm good." A beat, then another buzz. "Good. I'll be done soon. Don't go far." Riot rolled her eyes, but the small smile tugging at her mouth ruined the effect. She set her cup down and lifted the dress against her body, catching her reflection in the darkened window. The deep green looked like it belonged to her. Not borrowed, not pretending. Something in her chest tightened. It had been a long time since anyone made her feel chosen. Another buzz, a final text. "I'll be home in 20." Riot swallowed, heart thudding once. Not the house. Home. She lowered the dress and exhaled harder than she meant to. "Well," she muttered to the empty penthouse, "guess I should look like I meant to show up." She draped the dress carefully over a chair in the guest room and headed into the bathroom to fix her hair, straightening her shoulders, steadying her breath. By the time Cassian walked through that door, Riot wasn't going to look like someone who rode here on impulse. She was going to look like someone he couldn't look away from. Cassian's Aston Martin rolled into the penthouse garage. It was like he'd been waiting to lose control. He killed the engine and stared at the door, suddenly aware of how quiet everything had become without the hum of traffic, without the usual chaos of his day. Glancing over, he noticed what Riot had driven up. He'd only seen her on the bike he bought her twice since he'd given it to her as an engagement present. Not wanting to keep her waiting, Cassian made a mad dash for the elevator. Grace's laughter drifted from the living room before he even stepped inside. She was lounging on the couch like the cat that ate the canary, legs tucked under her, a magazine open but clearly forgotten. She smirked as he entered. "Well," she said, tilting her head, "look who finally showed up." "Funny," he muttered, dropping his keys on the foyer table beside Riot's helmet. "You don't even look like you missed me, or the rest of your duties at the office." Grace's grin widened. "Oh, I missed you plenty. The office, not so much. But I can see someone else occupying your thoughts." Cassian's eyes lightened as his jaw tightened. Everything's fine." She laughed lightly, not harsh, just teasing. "Uh-huh, sure. That's what they all say." Before he could reply, a muffled splash from the bathroom caught his attention. He froze. She's in the shower. Curiosity and maybe something more dangerous propelled him toward the door, leaving Grace giggling on the couch. Cassian paused outside the bathroom, catching a glimpse of her in the mirror. The curve of her shoulder, the way her wet hair clung to her neck, the way her posture made her look both defiant and intoxicating. He turned on a heel and walked back into the living room, heart hammering, face burning red. "Coffee. I need coffee," he muttered, hoping to regain some semblance of composure. Grace's knowing look didn't help. "Yep, that's the look of a man who lost the game before he started playing." 10 minutes later, the guest room door opened. Riot stepped out, the deep green dress Grace had brought hugging her curves like it had been made for her. Hair still slightly damp, she moved with quiet confidence, carrying herself like someone fully aware of the effect she had. Cassian's hands twitched at his sides. He tried to swallow the sudden lump in his throat. She looked like a siren calling him to his death, and he didn't give two shits about it. "Keep it together, Locke. Don't drool." "You look," he started, then swallowed hard. Words failed him. Riot smirked faintly, teasing without trying. "Like dinner?" "Yes, he rasped, voice low, unsteady. You look. Yes. Grace clapped once, standing. I'm out. She walked over and kissed Riot on the cheek. Don't make him forget how to breathe. Cassian didn't need an invitation. He stepped aside as Riot grabbed her clutch. The drive to the restaurant was quiet, tension threading through the air, their hands brushing once or twice, but neither reaching for more. Dinner was pleasant enough, a balance of laughter and small talk, but every glance across the table reminded Cassian of just how much he wanted her. He fought the urge to reach out and pull her into his lap, but Cassian kept himself in check until they made it back to the penthouse. On the way home, Cassian tried to keep his attention on the road, but as he eased into the penthouse garage, killing the engine, he leaned back in his seat for a moment, long enough to let the tension of the day and night catch up with him. Riot climbed out first, heels clicking softly on the concrete. She paused, letting him open the door for her, smirk tugging at the corner of her mouth. You're quiet, she said, slinging her coat over one arm in the elevator. Did I break you tonight, or are you just pretending to be polite? Cassian's lips quirked. Polite? That would assume I'm capable of that after dinner with you. Her smirk widened. Good. I'd hate to think you were boring me on purpose. Inside the penthouse, they shed coats and shoes in a dance that had become theirs. Cassian watched her, eyes darkening with want, as Riot dropped her clutch onto the console, then leaned casually against it. Don't tell me you're going to try to be proper now, she said, tilting her head. I saw you glancing at me across the table like I was a dessert you were too polite to eat. He grinned, voice low, teasing. You'd be dessert I'd devour without apology. Riot chuckled, brushing past him, letting her fingers graze his chest. That explains the heat in your eyes. He caught her wrist, spinning her back toward him, close enough that the heat from his body pressed into hers. You have no idea what you're doing to me. Oh, I think I have a very good idea, she said, voice playful but loaded, and I'm enjoying every second of it. Cassian's hand traced the line of her waist. Your trouble, he murmured, though his smirk betrayed that he was thrilled by it. I'm your brand of trouble, she said softly, letting the words hang between them. Then she tilted her head, letting the corner of her mouth twitch. And don't think I haven't noticed the way you've been losing your composure since we walked in the door. I haven't lost anything yet, he replied, voice low, though the twitch of his jaw betrayed him. Riot leaned back, teasing, letting her fingers trail along his chest. Yet, huh? Bold of you. I play bold when I have to, he said, brushing a thumb across her cheek. You make me feel bold, stupidly bold. Riot's laugh was soft, intimate, only for him. Careful, Locke. You might end up needing a safe word tonight. He leaned in, lips brushing the shell of her ear. Safe words don't work with you. Cassian's hands were back on her hips before either of them could even process it, pulling her closer. Riot's breath hitched as his mouth found hers, the kiss deep, urgent, full of the tension that had been simmering since dinner. Every brush of his lips, every press of his body sent fire coursing through her. Her hands tangled in his hair, tugging lightly, as if trying to anchor herself to him. He groaned into her mouth, letting his hands wander, exploring the familiar curves of her body while still feeling like he'd never really touched her at all. You drive me insane, he murmured against her lips, dragging his mouth down her jaw, nipping lightly at her neck. I could say the same, Riot whispered, letting herself melt against him. Her fingers trailed up his chest, feeling the steady thrum of his heartbeat, matching the wild pulse of her own. Cassian's hands tightened, the heat between them becoming nearly unbearable. Every inch of him pressed against her as if he could fuse their bodies into one. His lips found hers again. Hungering, claiming, demanding. And just as the air around them thickened with want, Riot pulled back, pressing her palms against his chest. He stared at her, eyes dark, searching. What? He breathed, almost pleading. Riot's chest heaved, and she tilted her head, a wry, almost painful smile on her lips. You have work in the morning, she said softly. I'm not here to make you ruin the day of meetings with a stiff neck and lack of focus. He blinked, momentarily stunned. You're leaving? I'm going to bed, she confirmed, brushing a hand down his chest, leaving him wanting. I've given you enough taste of trouble for one night. Cassian groaned, voice low, husky. Trouble? Right. You're my only trouble I'd choose to get lost in. Save it, she murmured, letting a hand graze the line of his jaw before stepping back. Get some sleep. We'll finish this later. And with that, she disappeared down the hall, leaving Cassian leaning against the bar, chest tight, mind racing, and every nerve still ablaze. The night was far from over. They both knew it, but restraint, for now, was the only thing keeping them from completely unraveling each other.
Yeah, that's the understatement of the year.
Yes, Trisha, that is it. That is it.
What?
All I gotta say. All I gotta say, Julie. I dropped my ball. I got nothing. Mm.
She only turned it off twice during that one.
I got. I'm. Okay, as the primary designated reader, okay, going into 2026, I think I'm going to institute ahead of time a 2,500 word limit, okay, because hearing me talk nonstop, y'all, we need a little bit more interaction. I mean, yes, I saw that in this one, you guys were making all sorts of comments and whatnot, but um, mm, How the hell am I supposed to sleep after that? I gotta work in the morning. You know, just like Cassian. And you left me there. Like Cassian.
Oh, don't even go there with 50 Shades of Grey.
Oh my God. Nope. Leon, nope. We don't have that discussion around here. Oh. Oh my God. 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 So we had actually started talking about it and you know, we had 12 fucking submissions this weekend. And now it is 11 o'clock my time here in Eastern time zone. I do have to work at 9:30 in the morning, so about 10 and a half hours. I am way the fuck up here high on these fucking stories that like I just holy fuck. So starting January 3rd, please try to limit yourself to 2,500 words max so that we can have more discussion. And I don't have to be left on that kind of a little cliffy with a
So
slippy. I
basically, you're
mean,
telling that you're mainly giving that warning to Cash and Julie.
I've already agreed. I'm going to do my best to stick with that.
I
Don't
tried
even.
to already stick around that. If anything, I don't give you the whole chapter just so that way I don't go over that. Just so I don't burn out the Izzy voice. We love it too much to lose it.
my meat's cold, unlike Cassian's.
Here's the thing. There is a little bit past that, but it couldn't be read out on the show.
Oh.
There is a little bit past that, but it couldn't be read out on the show. I had to cut it. I had to cut it there for a reason. But I will tell it. I wasn't gonna tell anybody. It was just like, no, you can't. No, there actually is.
You said the night wasn't over yet. That's legitimately legitimately all we need to know. So, between heart in my throat this weekend, everybody got some heart attacks and some fleshiness, not just me. Good golly, oh me. And Leon, something you don't know about me. I have been an insomniac for nearly 43 years. It is not as simple as closing one eye then the other. I wish it was.
Actually, it was. CD that
Who is it? CD? Oh, sorry, CD. There we go. Well, y'all don't know. This group up here knows that I'm a lifelong insomniac.
Not the only person up here.
Yeah. No, I was saying everybody up here knows that I'm a lifelong insomniac.
Yeah, I know. I'm saying y'all are.
So now I'm on a high. And I'm going to be thinking, where are we going next? Because I happen to know that we still have Thanksgiving and Christmas left for this wonderful story between Cassie and Riot, and I'm wondering how much is going to be on the show. More than likely, we're going to get it through December. Julie and I discussed this earlier to save her voice. But you know, we've already done the bum chicka wat wat. And you know, it's just and Nathan and Leon's serial killer weird revenge thing that's happening, and we've got the Wilhelm Death's Heads stuff and Bitzer's got stuff. Like, y'all are fucking killing me. You know, you're killing me. I got books to read, books to write, and then you do this to me. With that being said, if my entire computer hadn't shut down, hey, there it is. This coming week's prompt is to use one, both, either or dialogue prompts. You can find them in the Discord underneath the Writing Prompts channel in the thread 2025 Season 2. And it is dialogue number 1. I know you're trying your damnedest to be tough, but the truth is you're terrified. And the other one, stop trying to figure everything out. Just focus on now. And again, as you saw a couple of times this weekend, people adjusted the verbiage and broke it up differently. Julie literally had one part of it said by one character and the other part of it said by another character. Do not feel that you must do it exactly according to the prompt. The point is to spark it and make it your own. Doesn't have to be a carbon copy. Very good job on all of the mermaid shit this weekend as well. I'm one of the few that did not put it in there. I am so very sorry, Kesh. I just couldn't figure out how to put that in there with some brand new characters that I was trying to keep from y'all were mine.
I mean, you could have just put like a mermaid on the girl's shirt or her panties or.
If Jasmine paid more attention to Sabine's panties in that moment, we were going to have a problem. I was going to be censored, and there is no way in hell I was going to
blanket.
It just didn't seem right. Didn't seem like Sabine's style. So there is that. Y'all, I know I said this yesterday. And of course, you know, in the US, Thanksgiving was last week. I'm thankful for y'all. I really am. And yes, I'm being rude and talking with my mouth full, but I'm hungry. My meat's cold. My potato's cold. I need to go warm it up. But again, not everything is going to work into every thing that you do, every scene that you do, you know? And frankly, this whole bit was to just get your creative juices flowing and get you writing. All of you, get you writing. Hear how your words make people feel. Get the feedback, get the critical feedback, and believe in yourselves. Believe in yourselves that you can do it. And if I'm your barometer, first off, I'm completely unhinged. Are you sure you want me to be your barometer on what's good? I mean, I'm okay, apparently you all do. I think you're cracked, but you know, that's either here nor there. Again, okay, so it's 11:15. I gotta warm my food up and everything. Thank you so much for hitting a second night with us. We're gonna do this again next week where we split it in half. We're going to try and do in half by word count. So please make sure that you have your prompt in by 3 p.m. Central Time. If you are going to be late, please just put it in the main chat, message Julie or myself privately, and we will put you on the books of tentative, and we'll go from there. So, everybody, in our fearless leaders' immortal words, be brave, be bold, but always stay humble. And we'll see you back here Saturday, same bat time, same bat channel. Adios.